Hi friends, Laurelei here from Blade Broom, and this week I wanted to do something a little bit different. So first off, happy Lammas for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, and happy Imbolc to those in the Southern Hemisphere. This week I'm going to be offering a Lammas guided meditation. I apologize that I don't have an Imbolc guided meditation to go along with it at the same time. I will have one at what will be a Northern Hemisphere Imbolc time, and that is because I work very directly with like a rooted in time and place type of tradition. As I've mentioned elsewhere in the channel, my tradition is an American folkloric tradition. So, and very particularly, I'm a North American practitioner. So, and it goes even deeper than that. So I've lived in several different places within the United States. And when I worked in California, and when I lived and worked in California and worked a witchcraft tradition in California, I worked with different trees and different animals as part of my spiritual practice there. So I would call on trees like oleander and redwood, and with animal spirits that were native to that place because that's where I lived. And now that I'm back in the Midwest and the Upper South, I work with trees and animals that are here more because that's where I live now. And I think that it's important as a practitioner of these arts to be grounded where you are. So it's important for me as a practitioner to really be present both in time and place where I am, in a lot of ways. And that allows me then to have sort of a tether for when I do spirit work outside of myself, to be able to come back to this place. I hope that makes sense. And I hope that I'm not being insensitive then to the fact that for half of the planet it is not Lammas tide right now, but it is Lammas tide where I am. So I spent a lot of time crafting something that I hope is worthy and useful to folks. I did this because this is something that I've done for my coven for a long time, creating guided meditations, and these guided meditations are something that my coven uses. It's only been recently that I've converted them to audio files to make them a little bit more useful now that our coven hasn't been working as much in person. We're a little more scattered and we're not all living in the same city. So I wanted to be able to see if this is something that's useful for the viewers of my channel. If it's not, it may not be something that I continue, so please give me feedback and let me know if you do find this to be useful. It is pretty specific to the Spiral Castle tradition, which again is part of the American folkloric witchcraft system, we'll say, which I think covers more than one body of tradition. So if you find it useful, give me some feedback, let me know. Otherwise, it may go away doing guided meditations. I don't want to fill the channel with content that people aren't finding applicable. So without any further ado, here is the guided meditation for Lammas and meeting the white goddess at Lammas tide. Thank you for joining us for this Spiral Castle tradition within the American folkloric system guided meditation. Allow yourself to get comfortable and take several deep breaths. Close your eyes and picture yourself drifting downward and inward to the third realm, the lower realm. The third realm is a place of darkness and mystery. Let yourself sink down into the third realm and rest there peacefully. You open your eyes to see bright sun glinting through a leafy canopy above you. The sun is high in the sky and the day is hot and humid. You hear a buzzing of insects at the verge of the forest where the tree line gives way to the verdant farmland. Birds and small animals of all sorts fill the day with a hum of life that you can feel all the way to your bones. You rise and look to the south, across the deep green cornfield that stands just outside of the little woods. The corn is high, but you can see a hillock some distance away, and you know you want to go there. Gathering yourself together for the walk through the corn, you set your feet into the fertile soil. It is loamy and almost black in its richness. The corn is taller than you, now that you are trying to find a path between the stalks. The smell of the soil and the chlorophyll fills your nostrils as the sun warms your scalp. You fill your lungs with the warm, earthy scent of life and lift your face to the sky. 2 swans fly overhead, honking as they go. You continue through the cornfield, following the straight tracks of the plentiful land until you hear a plodding clip-clop coming from your right. Curious, you adjust your course until you're walking in a small lane. An unbridled horse stops in the path and looks over its shoulder at you. You approach the horse, speaking in a low, soft voice. It allows you to pet its side and neck. Then, surprisingly, it bows low for you to mount it, which you easily do. Seated upon the horse, you can see ahead on the path much more clearly than you had even from the forest's edge. You certainly see much more than you did amidst the cornstalks. The path you were taking would lead through a grove of trees before climbing the hillock that you had set as your destination. A glimmer of sparkling water told you there was a stream or a pond near the hill as well. Riding this horse will bring you to your destination faster, but it also gives you more opportunity to revel in your senses while you make the journey. You take some time to touch the horse's short, bristled hair and feel its massive muscles moving under your legs. You smell its sweat mixed with the perfume of summer field and the approaching orchard. You see the vibrant and varied shades of green laid with a foundation of deep brown and accented with colorful flowers and birds in the distance. Soon, you are within the boundary of the apple orchard. The trees are old, thick, and twisted. The branches are full of both fragrant blossoms and ripe fruit. The horse bites an apple from one of the trees, and you pluck one as well. You bite into it. The skin is firm, and the flesh is juicy and sweet. The land slopes upward and the path spirals around the hill. The horse bows again and you dismount. You walk the path together. The orchard hugs the base of the hill on one side, but as you come around to the other side of the small tor, you see that a stream caresses that edge. The 2 swans you saw in flight earlier are now gliding on the glittering ribbon of blue water. When you have almost reached the top of the hill, you see a curious gate, 2 large rock pillars. You must pass through these twin standing stones in order to reach the zenith of the hill. You can't see beyond this strange gate because of the shape of the land. You cannot walk around this door. You must either go through it or turn back. The horse whinnies and stamps one hoof into the ground, urging you to choose. The stones are carved with strange markings and symbols. Some are unfamiliar to you, but others have deep meaning in your mind. You see a pentagram carved into one of the rocks along with the apple tree rune, a horse, and a swan. Among the other symbols that you have noticed. A woman is singing and laughing somewhere beyond the 2 stones, and you step up and through. Once you are over the hump of the hill, you clearly see the woman whose voice you heard. She is voluptuous and beautiful, her body curving and ripe and delicious. She dances naked in the sunshine, her hair loose around her shoulders. Round wooden platters filled with fruit and grains surround her, some set on the ground, others on large rocks. A few round wooden discs are sitting on their sides with heraldic designs and family emblems painted on them in vibrant colors. You recognize some of these symbolic devices. The woman stops singing and dancing, but laughter is in her voice, and the air around her seems to shimmer as she greets you. You've had a taste of Elfheim. Would you stay for the sacrificial feast? She holds a red-handled blade toward you. This place is life overflowing. Every living thing revels and quakes in the awesome rush that is this bounty. The beauty and love and life and joy that are here for all to claim with both hands are splendorous magics, and ones that are so easily overlooked and undervalued. She holds one of the discs up as a shield. Guard what is yours. Taking another shield that is filled with food, she gestures for you to take what you want. And be generous with the bounty of love and life and beauty and joy that are given to you. She gives you a round shield of your own, and a design appears upon it. Life comes from life. These bodies bring forth life while they live, and yet again when they perish and rot. She smiles, lifting her arms. These are deep mysteries that lie hidden in their nakedness beneath the noontime sun. Search them out. She pulls you into an embrace and speaks a message just for you. You thank her, and she releases you, turning back to her dance and her song. Knowing that the time has come to leave, you turn and walk back to the stones. You pass through the standing stones and wind back down the tor, led once more by the horse. You hear the swans leave their stream as you leave the orchard. You cross the cornfield and bid the horse farewell. Sitting down again in the warm forest floor, you close your eyes and breathe deeply, coming back to yourself. Resuming normal breath and rising back up to this place, this realm. You open your eyes, and it is done. Thank you so much. Thank you again for joining me and the members of the Spiral Castle tradition in our exploration of this season and of the symbols and spirits of our tradition. I hope that you have found this useful, and if you have, please leave feedback, whether that's contacting me directly through the many ways that I've made available in the links and whatnot, or by just commenting in the feed down below. Like, subscribe, share, do all the things, and I will see you back here next Monday at noon. Bye, guys.